Does he have it? Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it. He's on the outside line, though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now, though, for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's just like trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 16 of the Simability Racing League SK Super Series, brought to you right here on JP Broadcasting on their YouTube channel. And what a race do we have here for you tonight. We are here at Stafford Motor Speedway for 100 laps of fast coverage. Don Koneman currently on top of the speed charts with a 19.28, and Travis Zudema currently second on the charts with a 19.35. So a little bit of gap in between those two, but Zudema out on track trying to get a few more laps in before we go to qualifying. We've seen him qualify. Oh, and Billy Wise and Zudema get together a little bit there. That's not going to be cool. We do have qualifying, and Travis Zudema has qualified a couple times in the last few weeks. So we'll see if he continues that stretch of qualifying in hopes for some better finishes and less trouble working his way through the field as we see him do every week. There's that number 97 swagger in car of Don Koneman. He is currently our points leader for our championship with only 5 races left to go. Don Koneman is out front of Tom Johnson by now 13 points, which is a fairly decent gap. Tom Johnson's going to have to work pretty hard to get that back. Chris Roberge in the 98 machine is currently in third with 155. The battle really heats up quite after him for 5th, 6th, and 7th, with Stephen Kiefer, Billy Wise, and Andrew Smith all being within 6 points of each other. Battle's heating up on the scoreboard, and the battle is about to heat up here on track. Chris Roberge there, he's in a different car again this week. He's in the Monster Energy machine. Used to seeing him in that Hot Wheels car. Had to do a little something different, but he's currently third quickest on the speed charts with a 19.39. Take a look. We got 2.5 minutes left to go in the session. You can see where all your favorite drivers are. Andrew Smith currently in 4th there in the 87. He's been pretty quick. He's been qualifying as well. So our 2 drivers that don't usually qualify have been hitting that qualifying session, and it's been making things a little bit more interesting up at the front of the pack than it is at the back. Tom Johnson, Mr. Consistency in that number 23 machine. He is 5th quickest at the moment. But remember, folks, that does not mean that he'll be 5th quickest in this race. We know that he is always a little bit slower in practice. Once he gets in that race pace and he gets to that consistency, he tends to be a little bit further ahead than the other drivers. We'll see if he can continue his top 5 streak. Only 1 race in this season has he not finished in the top 5, so we'll keep an eye on that. And it looks like he's getting a little bit loose and he's staying a little far down, so This track is a very tight track. You can run it out to the wall, or you can try to hold it down to the inside. And sometimes when you get loose, it's just easier to hold it down to that inside. But Tom Johnson doing a pretty good job handling out there. I believe right in front of him in that black and yellow car, we see Bobby Wise returning back to our race here. We haven't seen him in a few. Glad to see Bobby Wise back. And it looks like we have a new driver on the field today. Greg Rogers out of New York in the number 28 machine. That is a very, very bright colored race car. Might be a little hard for eyes to adjust on that one, but it's definitely gets him seen. He's currently 10th quickest at the moment, but being fresh to the league, we may see something new. We've seen some new drivers come in the league and absolutely dominate. So we can see if this guy has what it takes or not. But with only 20 seconds left to go, we are going to get ready to go for qualifying here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Half a mile track in length, and we're going to do 100 laps. And at 20 seconds a lap, that is about, I'd say 35, 40 minutes of racing. And that, sorry folks, I have been a little bit sick, so if we're getting close to coughing, we might take a break a second. But there's the checkered flag on this session. We are going to go into qualifying. And once we get him on track, we'll take a ride like we always do with Don Koneman. He's our points leader right now. Let's take a ride with him and see his 2 laps here around Stafford. Tom Johnson puts a pretty good lap down with a 19.47. Koneman was taking it easy, warming up the tires. Can he do better? And he does. A 19.27 puts Don Koneman on the top of the charts here at the beginning of qualifying. You got Brian Lowhead in the 24 machine. He is coming out onto the racetrack. Lugnuts coming out to complete his first lap, and he gets into the wall hard coming out of turn number 4. That's going to negate his first lap time. And it looks like he might be calling it quits on qualifying after that. Chris Robert's taking to the track, getting the green flag at the moment. What can Chris Robert's in the number 98 machine do? Looks like a bunch of drivers might have been getting in the wall. We only have 4 drivers qualified so far, and quite a few drivers being shown that they have been out for qualifying. And Chris Roberts goes up second with a 19.46, just 1/10 over top of Tom Johnson. Can he pick up on his second lap? Comes out of turn 4. A little bit tight coming out of the turn there. He does pick up on his second lap with a 19.39, but still not going to be able to make the top of the charts. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Most of the qualifying is done and in order. But now, if you would, please remove your caps and join me in celebrating our national anthem. All right, sorry about that, folks. We were having a little technical difficulty, but we finally got drivers on the grid ready to go. 100 laps here at Stafford Motor Speedway. And they are going to roll off behind that iRacing pace car. And Don Koneman going to lead him to the stripe with Chris Roberts to his outside. And keep an eye on that number 28, Greg Rogers. He's a new guy here in the league this evening. First race here with Simability Racing League, so we want to welcome him to the league, and we're excited to see what he can do rolling off outside row number 2. This is going to be your white flag wave lap. Let these drivers know that you're here to see them. Give them a nice wave as they come across the start finish line here. And we are about to go green flag racing here at Stafford. Very, very kind of crazy track. Here Stafford is. You got the inside line and you got an outside line, but the outside line is way longer around the racetrack than the inside. But you see a lot of drivers getting into the wall here coming out of the corners, so we may see quite a few wrecks here. 11 drivers in the field, and Billy Wise currently not being shown in the field, so not sure what's going on with that 32 machine. But the green flag is out and we are racing. Don Koneman gets a good run going into turn 1, and he's going to clear Roberts. Johnson's going to try to get to the inside of Roberts in 1 and 2, but he's not going to be able to do it as he's trying to hold the inside line off from Greg Rogers. Got a little bit of a battle going on in the back. Bobby Wise started 6th, and he's going fairly far away back as we see Travis Zudema trying to get around Thomas Wise, and he does a great job there. He is up to 5th position already, and we are mostly single file as we see Johnny Berardi there going around Brian Lowhead, and he's now going to try to work on Thomas Wise. Great start of the race here as we get a couple laps in and we're all clean and green. You see Andrew Smith down there trying to make a move on the 14 of Bobby Wise, and Billy Wise still being shown in the pits, so not sure really what happened with him, but a tough break there for Billy. And Bobby goes way wide and gives Andrew Smith the lane there, and Smith is going to take that one away. Up front, Don Koneman still leading the pack with Chris Roberts there in 2nd. Tom Johnson and Greg Rogers, their top 4, with Travis Zudema making his way up into the top 5. Take a ride along with Chris Roberts and see if he can catch Don Koneman that 97, or if we see that 97 start to squeak away. We see Roberts putting in his best lap times at the moment. Keeping right up close with Koneman, about 4/10 off the pace. Everybody else getting nice and single file here. A fairly long racetrack for a 100-lap race, so these guys going to have a little bit of attrition worked into their race this evening, but Don Koneman doing a great job out front with Chris Roberts in 2nd, and Brian Lowhead looks like he's trying to make a move on Johnny Berardi. He gets really loose and has to dip down low. He was not able to do anything with that run. He's going to have to work himself back up. He lost almost a full second over top of Johnny Berardi there with getting on that apron coming out of the corner. Definitely going to be looking to get that figured out. And I wonder what happened to Billy Wise. He's still down on the pit road, and he is not coming out on track. Hopefully he didn't have a computer failure or something. Tom Johnson, Mr. Consistency, sitting here right in third. Not really too far under pressure, but if you want to talk about under pressure, Greg Rogers is coming under pressure from Travis Zudema and that number 90 Jammers modified, trying to make a move up into fourth position. We didn't see him qualify like we kind of expected him to, so working his way up from the back of the field. He's currently up 2 spots, but Johnny Berardi up 4 spots right now, holding on to that most positions gained bonus point at the moment. But with just under 90 laps left to go in this race, anything can happen, especially when these guys are hitting that apron like that. You see Zudema get loose, and right after that Rogers gets loose. You really got to watch what part of that track you get down on, as it can really upset your car. Zudema trying to make a move coming out of turn number 4. He gets down to the inside of the 28. Down into turn number 1. Can Zudema hold on? It looks like he's going to clear him coming out of turn 2. Move Travis Zudema up to 4th place. And that knocks Greg Rogers down to 5th. Great move by that number 90 machine to make that spot happen. Now he's got 1.8 seconds ahead to Tom Johnson in that number 23 machine. Currently out front, Don Koneman still trying to hold off Chris Roberge in the 98 machine. Roberge still there, but falling back just a little bit. I'm pretty sure Koneman is probably trying to save his tires at the moment, but we do have lap traffic coming for the leaders here very shortly. So it looks like we've got Billy Wise back out on track, but he is showing 16 laps down. So tough break for that 32 machine. Not sure what happened. You see our leaders are going past Bobby Wise, and they've got the other 2 Wise guys in front of them, Billy and Thomas. Oh, and there goes Bobby to the inside of the racetrack. Spun out. I'm not sure that's going to be a caution unless he comes straight up into everybody else. He's going backwards on the grass, so this is probably going to cause a caution here, though, unless he turns it around. And we'll have to keep an eye what he's going to do. Oh, no, and he gets it straight and comes back out. I think we're going to be all right. As we still see Koneman and Roberge going at it behind Billy Wise. Billy's got a few laps older tires than these guys. He's only been on track for 6 laps. But if these guys are pushing as hard as I think they are, Billy might be able to pull away and at least stay out kind of in front of these guys. But if he does any holding Koneman up, Roberge is going to be right there to pounce and possibly take advantage. Travis Zudema has caught up to Tom Johnson, and he's somewhat on his tail. They've got Thomas Wise still in front of him, and the caution flag has flown. Looks like Bobby Wise has had another issue, and he is now in the pits. Let's take a look and see what happened to Bobby Wise. Hit the grass, came up on the track, and got into the grass. Not sure what that was all about, but there is caution flag number 1 on the day, and that is on lap number 24. So 1/4 of the way through. And Don Koneman leads. Chris Robert's in second, and Tom Johnson currently in third. Greg Rogers down in the pits getting tire change. Not sure if he knows that we can go the entire race on a set of tires, but he's gonna try to get new rubber and see if that helps him anything in his race. Well, he didn't go a lap down, so that's one good thing for him. A lot of these tracks you can go a lap down, taking a pit stop and getting tires, but we'll see if that does anything for the 28. I can't imagine it will. He's only got 25 laps on his tires, so that's not going to be a big deal breaker. If you had 75 laps on your tires and you had 20 laps to go, that might change things up a little bit. Most of these drivers end up staying on the same tires for the entire race, as when the big fast guys change tires, they really can't get to the front of the pack. So it all depends on who you are, what kind of driver you are. Maybe you had some issues and needed to get it fixed. We got some tires. We'll have to see if that 25 springs up, or sorry, the 28 springs up to the front of the field or not. But at the moment, one driver that's very, very happy is the number 99 machine, Johnny Berardi. He's got himself up into 5th position in that 99. We know he's been having some issues lately, and we're glad to see him on the racetrack. And he's currently up 5 positions from where he started, currently holding on to the most positions gained bonus point 1/4 of the way through the race. But I believe we are going to get them side by side and get ready to go back green flag racing. And Don Koneman is going to bring them to the stripe. And this is going to be the first restart where Koneman has control. Luckily, the pace car doesn't back off right in the middle of the backstretch. He's got an entire turn to jump the field. And he does it right in the middle of 3 and 4. Gets a 2-car length gap by the start box. Green flags back in the air. We're racing here. Tom Johnson looking down to the inside of Travis Zudema and Chris Roberge. Can Zudema do anything on the outside of Tom Johnson? Zudema doing a great job. He gets into the wall a little bit, but he makes it stick. Can he get to the bottom? Zudema up to 3rd. What a drive by Zudema. He did get into the wall, but I don't think he got into the wall that bad. So we are back rolling good things here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Tom Johnson down to 4. Johnny Berardi still holding on there in 5th position. He's got Greg Rogers right behind him with those new tires. But Rogers has got Andrew Smith all over his tail. Can we get a pass on Rogers from Smith on his onboard cam? Gets a little bit loose there going inside the corner. And it looks like Bobby Wise is once again down in the middle of the racetrack. Having a tough day for that number 14 machine. It doesn't look like we're going to get a pass from Andrew Smith anytime soon here. But Berardi doing everything he can to try to hold off Greg Rogers. And Koneman getting a little bit of pressure from Chris Roberge, actually. Koneman's fastest lap is a 19.305. Let's take a look at what Roberge there behind him is. 19.245. So Roberge does have a faster lap time than Koneman. Now that also means he's pushing a little bit harder than Koneman is pushing at the moment too. 37 laps in 63 more laps to go. One caution flag. What a great race. And Travis Zuma right there in third position, not letting these guys go, staying a half a second behind them, just hoping that they start racing side by side and he can get back up to the tail of these guys and possibly mix it up a little bit. We know Travis Zuma has been itching for a win. Back in the back of the pack, we've got a little bit of tussle going on. Rogers, Berardi, and Smith all together. Just some really close racing. Nobody really trying to make a move on anybody. Anybody's just really, really close to each other. Koneman pulling away from Roberge out front just a little bit. But this is where the battle is at on track. Looks like Bobby Wise has gone to the pit lane. Oh, and Smith dives real hard there into turn number 3, trying to make some moves on to Rogers, but just wasn't able to get to his bumper. Rogers might be able to make a move on Berardi here. Gonna try it coming out of 4. Nope, not gonna be able to do it. Trying to get to the inside, just cannot get there. And Smith is backing off just a little bit. He knows what could come between a new driver trying to get towards the front. We know the new ones are always a little bit more impatient. We've all been there. But Rogers doing a great drive so far, keeping it good and clean and running in 6th place, despite having getting them sets of tires there on the first caution. And Roberge is starting to get on the back of Koneman. And they're kind of leaving Zuma in the dust just a little bit. Not sure if Koneman is just trying to save tires and leave him a little bit of space or not. But Roberge is right there on Koneman's tail. Zuma losing these guys quite a bit. 1.5 seconds the gap back. But at the moment, Johnny Berardi did lose that 5th place spot to Rogers just a second ago. So he is now tied with Zuma, who is higher up. So Zuma up 4 places, currently holding the most positions gained point, running in 3rd place. And you might be able to gain a couple more spots if these leaders end up getting together, as we do have some lap traffic out in front of these guys. I believe that's Thomas Wise these drivers are going to run into next. But Roberge looking to the outside to try to make a move on Koneman. He gets to his tail. This is going to be a battle for the lead if Koneman can hold him off, or if Roberge is just that much faster. But I have a feeling Koneman is saving those tires for a rainy day. But as these drivers make their way through turns 3 and 4, Flagman's got the cross flags halfway through this race. 50 laps completed, 50 more laps to go. Don Koneman out front, Chris Roberge in 2nd, Travis Zuma running in 3rd, and Thomas Wise gets loose there in turn number 2. And he's now sideways on the backstretch. And he's going to get it going back straight with no problems. All right, sorry about that, folks. Welcome back. We have a little bit of a battle going on here. We got Andrew Smith trying to make a move on Brian Lowhead on the outside. Not going to be able to do it there in 3 and 4. He's going to duck back on inside. Johnny Berardi there in front, Brian Lowhead. And Lowhead goes a little bit wide. Smith gets down underneath. Give that spot to Andrew Smith. And Billy Wise trying to make his way back through. He's going to need another caution or two to get all of his laps back, being that he started so many laps down, but doing a great job keeping it clean and working his way back up. He's not too far down. He's only 9 laps down now at the moment, so doing not too shabby. Actually, I would make that 11 laps down compared to the leaders. 9 laps from his father there in front of him in the 3 machine. Thomas Wise currently running in 9th. Back out front, Don Koneman is your leader, and he's put a decent sized gap over top of Chris Roberts in the number 98 machine. Almost a half a second split between them two, and it's 4 seconds back to Travis Zunema, currently running in 3rd. Doing a great job though. No qualifying effort, had to work his way through the pack. And Zunema doing a fantastic job. He made that move on Tom Johnson, who's still running in 4th. Made that move on the high side, and that was a brilliant move. And apparently getting into the wall didn't hurt him too much. Tom Johnson there currently in 4th position. Our defending champion, he's 13 points back. Finishing here is going to put him at least 16 points back. 23 really needs to get back up front and needs the 97 to have some issues for him to take the championship once more this year. 4 more races after this, and we will determine the Season 1 champion for the Simability Super Series. Next season, I believe we are going to be racing the brand new late model stock. These are some pretty awesome cars. I believe everybody's agreed with that. So that is one thing to look forward to here on the Simability Racing League. Late model stock cars for everybody. And that will be quite a fun change from these modifieds. But we still have 5 more races left to go with our modified series. We are currently at Southern National, or sorry, we are at Stafford. We moved Southern National to the end of the season with some complications last week. Next week, we have the All-Star Challenge, where we crown a champion for the All-Star Challenge series. Then we go to Thompson, USA, and we're going to actually end the season a week after USA at Southern National Motor Speedway. So that is the schedule of events. Only a few more races left to go. And these drivers have done a fantastic job this season. And Chris Roberts is caught back up to Don Koneman. So what in the world is going on up front? These drivers doing a great job around Stafford here, keeping it clean and green. Only one caution on lap number 25. And we are crossing the stripe to begin lap number 70. Only 31 more laps to go. And Roberts is still within a half a second of Don Koneman. While we see Travis Zunema back there in third. 7 seconds back from Koneman. So Koneman only has one driver he really needs to worry about at the moment. Unless he catches all that lap traffic going through turn 2, which in 30 laps, I don't think that's going to happen. But it's possible. We've watched Koneman lap the entire field once. So anything is possible with Koneman out front. But Chris Roberts is putting on some pressure back there. We'll see if these guys battle it out for the rest of the race. They are basically the closest battle on track. Johnny Berardi and Brian Lowhead are fairly close, but Berardi is pulling out, and it looks like Thomas Wise just got into the outside wall and rode it a little bit. Looked a little tough on him. And now Berardi has got a mirror full of Brian Lowhead. Billy Wise has made his way through the lap traffic trying to get a little further back up, but now Lowhead has fallen back from Berardi. So these guys giving and taking all around this racetrack here, but one person that's not giving and taking at all is Don Koneman. He is up front. He's got Roberts all over his tail. Nobody around for these two, but they are coming up on some lap traffic. Looks like Thomas Wise in the 3 there. He's going to go down to the inside, and he's going to stay to the outside for these drivers. And that's going to throw off Roberts' line. That might give Koneman a little bit of extra time coming out of turn 2 here. Doesn't look like it. So Roberts does a good job of making that inside line work for him through them corners, being pinched down low and not being able to take his proper line. Well, we are less than 25 laps to go, 23 laps to go at the moment. Don Koneman out front, Chris Roberts in second, and Travis Zunema a full 8 seconds back from the leaders, currently running in third. Johnny Berardi, and number 99, is back up to 5th position and currently 5 positions up from where he started tonight. So he is now once again holding the most positions gained bonus point over top of Travis Zunema. If Brian Lowhead can happen to get past Berardi, that will go back to Zunema. But at the moment, Berardi getting that extra bonus point for the most positions gained in that number 99 machine. These two drivers staying very, very close to each other. I wonder if Roberts is just biding his time, or if he's really pushing with everything he has to try to stay with Koneman. You see these guys running about 0.3 of a second slower than their fastest lap. Roberts' fastest lap was a 19.245, and currently running a 19.547, so 0.3 of a second off their fast time. So if someone did get a caution right now, it might be okay to put some tires on with 10 laps to go. We'll have to, I don't think we're going to get another caution unless we see someone come down and come across the stripe like we saw Bobby Wise do a little bit earlier. But I really don't see a caution really happening here. These drivers running a fantastic race. All 10 of these drivers on track right now. But these leaders are catching up to some lap traffic. So we'll have to see Koneman pulling ahead just a little bit. Will these guys battling for 5th, 6th, and 7th, is that going to stop these guys and make a battle for the lead happen with just about 10 laps to go? Oh, and there goes Andrew Smith past Brian Lowhead. Berardi gets into the wall. Lowhead gets into the wall. These guys slowing up quite a bit as the leaders start to come by. Lowhead stays wide for the leaders. Now they got Andrew Smith to worry about. 12 more laps to go for Koneman and Roberge. Oh, and Berardi gets into the wall hard. Hard into the wall for Johnny Berardi. And that's going to be a caution flag with 10 laps to go. Tough, tough break for that 99 machine. What in the world happened there? Let's take a peek at what happened from the roll bar of Johnny Berardi's car. Gets into the wall and he just can't keep it off the wall. He stays in the gas. I think that might have been his problem. He was hard in the gas that whole time, but nonetheless, we are under caution once again with less than 10 laps to go. Will we get any takers to pit road? Well, after that wreck with Johnny Berardi, Travis Zunema pretty well has the spot for the most points, or the most positions gained. He's going to get that bonus point as long as he finishes there where he's at. Andrew Smith, Johnny Berardi, both in the pit lane at the moment, or was being shown in the pit lane. Maybe they were just down a little low, but 5 drivers on the lead lap at the moment. Don Koneman out front, Chris Roberge in second, Travis Zunema running third, Tom Johnson in fourth, Andrew Smith in fifth, and it looks like Brian Lowhead just got a lap back. He is now on the lead lap, currently running in sixth position. Greg Rogers in his first time out here had a good start of the race, but currently 1 lap down in seventh. Thomas Wise and Johnny Berardi right behind them, with Billy Wise rounding out the top 10, and Bobby Wise still up in the pits. He only completed 28 laps out of this race, but we are going to go back green with about 5 laps to go. As you see Billy Wise trying to get some more laps back, not really helping him too much. Being that it's such a big racetrack, it's hard to really get quite a few laps back under qualifying, but he'll try to get what he can. Still showing that he needs 4 or 5 more laps to get caught up to Thomas Wise, so I'm not sure if he took a pit stop again or what happened there. But we're going to double stack and re-rack him. 5 laps to go when we go back green flag racing. Don Koneman out front, Chris Roberge to his outside, and now Travis Zunema has Tom Johnson on his outside. What's going to happen? We'll let you know. Pace car's in. It's on the number 97. Koneman gets on the loud pedal. Travis Zunema looks down to the inside of Chris Roberge. And Zunema trying to take that second place spot with just a few laps to go. Roberge runs way high through turn 1 and 2. Give that spot to Travis Zunema. What a run by the Zood number 90 machine. Roberge is going to definitely try to get that back, but caution flag comes out one more time. And I believe that's going to be a green-white checker. Not even sure what happened. Let's take a peek at what they say was that yellow flag. It says maybe Johnny Berardi. So let's take a look at Johnny. See what happened. Oh, yeah, there it is. Johnny spins out in front of Brian Lowhead. And that is going to be your third caution of the night. That number 90 machine just having a little more trouble. I'm sure frustrated after the great run he was having to lose it all right here towards the end of the race. But he'll get back on track and have one more chance trying to get around with a few of these guys and get a few more points. But now Travis Zudema to the outside is going to give Chris Roberts the inside on that restart, and I have no doubt that Roberts is probably going to take that from Zudema. But we watched Travis Zudema on the outside of Tom Johnson, and he did a great job running that outside. So maybe Zudema can hold off Chris Roberts for a second place finish here tonight. That would be the talk of the night. Zudema beating out Roberts, who's been on Koneman's tail all race long. Stick around here, and only a couple more minutes we will decide round number 16 of the SK Super Series. If it's your first time here to JP Broadcasting and the Simability Racing League, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button, and hit that notification bell. That way you get real-time notifications when we go live here on JP Broadcasting for some of the best racing that iRacing and other racing platforms have to offer. And I tell you what, you are not going to be disappointed if you hit that notification bell, because every race that we do here has been fantastic. And these drivers right here, I tell you what, the Simability Racing League, these guys could not be a more awesome group of folks. I tell you what, they do have a little bit of a dirtier sense of humor. I mean, a lot of them are disabled and whatnot, so they've got a little bit more of a sense of humor than the average person. But I tell you what, these guys are some of the greatest guys in the world, and they all get together every week on Wednesday nights to go racing together. And we're definitely proud to support them and do this broadcast for them. But we're about ready to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Green, white, checkered here at Stafford. Don Koneman, Travis Zudema, Chris Roberts, Tom Johnson, and Andrew Smith, your top five. Koneman's going to make him wait for it a little bit here through 3 and 4. He doesn't want Roberts to get the jump. Travis Zudema gets a great jump. He moves down to the inside. Green flag back in the air. 2 laps to go. Zudema does a great job holding that inside line. Roberts walks up a little bit, but now he's got Andrew Smith on his tail. Smith's going to dive down to the inside. He's going to get on the binders. He thinks twice about it. Coming out of turn number 4. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go for Koneman. Zudema there in second. Can he hold off Chris Roberts for 1/4 of a mile? It looks like he's going to be able to do so. And there it is with his fantastic finish. Coming out of turn number 4. Checkered flags in the air. Don Koneman takes this round number 16 at Stafford. Travis Zudema comes home second place with a fantastic finish and that bonus point for gaining the most positions gained. Chris Roberts is going to have to settle for a 3rd place spot. Andrew Smith and Tom Johnson round out the top 5. Tom Johnson right there in 5th. Still keeps his top 5 streak for the season going, but definitely not the showing he wanted to have for the championship here. And as you see, Koneman down there getting ready to do a little bit of celebration. We're going to take a quick break and get our top 3 up into the booth. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what a fantastic race here for the Simability Racing League. We have got a few drivers here waiting to speak with us, and our first driver that we are going to welcome here tonight is the driver of the number 98 Monster Energy Machine, Chris Roberge. Fantastic race tonight. Take us through your race. I know you ran right behind Koneman for most of the race, and that one of them last restarts really got you caught up. But how do you feel about your performance tonight? So you stayed within a half a second of Koneman most of the race. What were you chasing him down, or were you guys both just saving tires? Or it's not that common that you see you guys stay within a half a second of each other the whole race.
No, I think he was getting a little loose at the certain corners and all that stuff. So I try to keep it and try not to be too close. I don't want to hit him if he gets checked up on, and I didn't want to wreck him. So I just try to keep my distance. So anything does happen, I have a escape route. So I just do that way. So, but all good race.
Yeah, it was a fantastic drive. I love seeing the green flag racing and the battle and back and forth with a lot of the drivers on the racetrack. I do have to say one thing. I got to thinking about it today, and I want to apologize to you, because normally when you run a class out in the real world, they do national anthems for the drivers that are in the class, and I just got to thinking, we do not have the Canadian national anthem play before our races, and you are our only Canadian. So I think we're going to try to get that set up. That way we know you got you guys included in this too, because you're a big part of the league here, and you're a fantastic driver and a fantastic person. So we're definitely going to get that set up for you. But hey, you got third place again here tonight. You're battling up there. You're in third in the championship points. Who do you got to thank for this awesome run tonight?
Well, I got thanks for my teammate Don. He's been teaching me really well here. Him and I we're sharing each other our data, things, what I need to improve. He's helping me to do that, and kind of am pretty much up there, pretty much with Don. I like big thanks to Billy Wise, Glenn, who got this organized. I've been with Billy for like day one since we first started together racing each other. Same as the other guys like Tom, Johnny, Brian, and Travis. I used to race with them so many years ago, way back. Big thanks for them. I'm happy that I'm still with them. Big support. Thank you for broadcasting to there. Thank you. You're doing an awesome, amazing job there. Big support for my wife and my two friends that just had a baby 2 weeks and 3 days. So my wife and I are godparents. So we're godmom and goddad.
Nice. Well, congratulations on your finish today. Good luck next week when we go to the Bull Ring, a very, very different track, and it's also the All-Star Challenge race. So good luck. 4 races left in the season, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, no problem. And a quick question: what's the points on that so far?
We will have those points updated for next week. I've been sick all week, and I haven't gotten around to it, so we're gonna end up getting those points ready. We're gonna show that before the race, and we'll at least let you guys know before the race, so you know who you got to beat up.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck. Thanks, Chris. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Roberge. And now we call Don the man of the hour, because he just tends to win quite a few races. But today we have the real man of the hour in the booth with us. He's the driver of the number 93 Jammers Machine, or the 90 Jammers Machine, Travis Zudema. What a drive today. A steady third place all race. And when you had to restart, you took advantage. Got Chris Roberge. Tell us about your drive today.
It was a lot of fun. The car was great. It came in on a long run. Tires didn't have too much of a big fall off, and it just, I don't know, I felt good. Getting through the field was nice. I didn't have a whole lot of problems. It was pretty smooth.
So we've seen you qualify the last few weeks in a row. What made you at this kind of bigger racetrack decide you didn't want to qualify this evening?
I honestly, I forgot I qualified. You know, normally I don't qualify. You know, as you know, normally I don't. So those 2 races, that was kind of a fluke. So you know, that's kind of not what I do. Starting the back is what I do.
Well, you did a great job today. You were actually battling with none other than Johnny Berardi the entire race for the most positions gained point, and he had you for most of the race until the tragic caution that caused with 13 laps to go when he ended up getting into the wall and riding the wall into the barrier. So he was actually going to take that point away from you, but with his accident and that caution at the end, it gained you a 2nd place finish instead of a 3rd place finish, and it gained you that point for the most positions gained. So you have to throw a shout out to Johnny for taking care of that for you. But who do you got to thank for this awesome victory, man? I mean, you finished 2nd. Koneman was unstoppable today. You got by Roberge, who was behind him only by about a half a second most of the race, and you held him off towards the end. That's a pretty incredible victory in my book, at least. How do you feel about that?
Oh, Chris he's a great driver, man. I've raced with Chris for years, man. He's a good guy behind the wheel, man. He got skills. He's hard to get around, and he's twice as hard to keep behind you. And Don is just Don. You know, it is what it is with Don. You know, you're gonna have a hard time beating that guy anywhere you go. So, yeah, 2nd place is pretty much a win over here. You know, I'll take it. But you know, I just like thank everybody. You know, you guys, JP Broadcast, and everyone at Simability for what they do, man. It's a fun time to be here, man.
Absolutely. Well, you are close to the top of the points. We haven't figured out the All-Star Challenge points yet, but going into next week, it is the All-Star Challenge finale. What do you have to do at the Las Vegas Bull Ring to ensure that you get some good points for your season championship, but at the same time, you get high enough to be able to take home that All-Star Challenge series?
Well, I mean, it's basically, you know, the same strategy that I have every race, you know, throughout the season. Just try to keep the car clean, smooth, and no mistakes, and get through the field and try to get the best finish I could get.
Right on. That's the best way to do it, too. Congratulations on your 2nd place finish, and good luck in the rest of our season. Only a few more races left to go.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, man.
And now, lastly, we have got the winner of round number 16 here at Stafford, Don Koneman in the number 97 Swagger In machine. Don, take us through your incredibly dominating race.
It was a pretty good race. Got out there in front with the qualifying and just ran the front and watched my mirror the whole time because Chris was on me. I thought he was going to pay me back for lanyard passing him, but congrats to him. He never gave me the bumper. Thanks for that. And yeah, in the end, Trav was there, and good run for him. Awesome run for him.
Yeah, Travis, he kind of got a little bit lucky there. Johnny Berardi was battling with him for the most positions gained. Berardi was running in 5th place with 5 positions gained. And Berardi actually was the cause of that final caution, which allowed Zunema to take advantage of that restart and get by Roberge. So Berardi has a little bit something to do with Travis getting up there into 2nd place, but he did a great run. And I mean, you guys were 9 seconds ahead of Zunema when that caution came out, but Roberge was 0.3 off your tail. What kind of pressure does that put on the leader of a race when you could pull away from the rest of the field, but 2nd place is on your tail from start to finish?
Oh, it's a heck of a lot of pressure, to be honest with you. I was running different lines in different corners, trying to see where I could pull away from him, and there wasn't. He was locked down to his line, and there really wasn't much I could do on the track to get ahead of him. I even tried the old Stafford shortcut on him, but without him running it, he was still just as fast as me, man. So honestly, that was a nail biter for me. That was just praying that he doesn't tap you and run any race.
Well, that's one thing about Chris Roberge in that number 98 machine. He has proven himself time and time and time again to be a very hard driver, but a very clean driver at the same time. So we definitely got to give that number 98 machine props. He didn't even bump into Travis, but he was trying to get around him for that last lap pass back into second. So very good head on that kid's shoulders. We look to see what he can do in the next season. We're going to late model stocks next season. Do you see a change in the field from these modifieds to the late model stocks? Do you predict closer racing, or do you see it being a little bit more caution way, or how do you see that next season popping up?
Well, I would predict it being a new car. There's going to be a lot of caution in the beginning, just as people get used to the car. Me, myself, I have not even run the car yet. As soon as I heard that late models were the next one coming out within us after they were updated, I decided I'm going to try it first time with the league. So,
well, it sounds like a plan. It's I've driven it once or twice, and it's a fun little car. It feels like almost like a street stock in a late model body, but I haven't run too much of the late model stuff yet either. So it'll definitely be a very fun car. Everybody is gonna enjoy driving it. It's kind of like these modifieds, kind of like the street stocks. So we'll see how it goes. But Don, we're still in the SK Super Series. 4 more races to go. Who do you got to thank for this awesome victory and another 7 or 8 points on top of your championship today?
honestly, I got to thank everybody in this league that shows up religiously to the practice sessions that we run. Honestly, thanks to all of them, because this wasn't a caution fest of a race because of it, because people practice and people get better.
Well, for sure. Don Koneman, congratulations with your victory tonight. Good luck next week when we go to the bull ring for the All-Star Challenge Series number 4, where we crown a champion. How do you feel about your chances on taking a victory at the bull ring next week?
Yeah, bull ring has never been one of my tracks, honestly. How's them All-Star points going?
We will have those updated by next week, so that way we can get those out. Have not gotten around to going through it. It's a little different than just doing the points regularly, so we got to actually go back through the old stream and check points down. But we'll definitely get that down for you guys, so you guys know who you gotta knock out of the race in order to win some money. But congratulations on your win here tonight at Stafford, and good luck in the final 4 races of the championship.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are your top 3 from tonight's event. We'll go through one more time and give you a quick rundown of where everybody finished. Don Koneman, Travis Zuma, and Chris Robert's your top 3. Andrew Smith and Tom Johnson in your top 5. Brian Lowhead finished 6th. Greg Rogers with his first start here in Simability, taking home 7th. Thomas Wise, Johnny Berardi, and Billy Wise running out your top 10. And Bobby Wise finishing in 11th, but not really finishing the race. He ended up parking it after 25 laps. So he did not get the full race down, but he's still there. It was good to see him show up and come racing with the guys. We will see you guys next week at Las Vegas Bull Ring. But until then, y'all have a great week.